If you use both of these, which one do you like better? I hate using this because it always splashes back at me. This one I prefer. Okay, so today we're gonna be doing a engine bay cleaning, our 1 year ceramic coating maintenance, and a interior cleaning for this BMW. I'm gonna start with the hood and the engine bay here. It's pretty clean already, so we're just gonna remove these leaves. I'll put the key all the way on the other side of the shop so it doesn't keep making noises. I'm gonna start by foaming the engine bay down. So this is Coach Chemi Green Star. Just gonna grab some of our brushes. And you can use a pressure washer in the engine bay. Just be mindful of what you're doing. Don't force water anywhere. So if you are gonna use a pressure washer, just hold it far away. You don't really need much pressure to rinse off all the dirt in the engine bay. If it's really dirty, get in there with like microfibers, a steamer, more rags, etc. This is just a maintenance. We're just trying to get all the dust and everything off the top and get it all cleaned. Okay guys, after you're done with the engine bay, hit it with this. This is Coach Chemi Motorplast. When it's wet, all you're gonna do from far up, just spray an even mist everywhere. What you're gonna do is you're gonna let that dry while you do the rest of the car. When you're done with the detail, open the engine bay. If you see any streaks, just wipe them away. But typically this will dry pretty much even by itself and you don't really have to do much effort. All right, so engine bay is done. I'm gonna work on the wheels. Coach Chemi Green Star. I like to use the bigger brush for everything that I can reach, and then I'll get the smaller brush to get into all the little cracks and stuff. Now the brake calipers and the inside of the barrels, we've already coated on this car, so everything is gonna clean up very easily. If you use both of these, which one do you like better? I hate using this because it always splashes back at me. This one I prefer. Sometimes you can't really fit this big one in there, so I'll go for this one. So this one kind of fits in there, but this one will fit in there better. I just cannot stand using these guys unless I have to use them. Some wheels are gonna take longer to clean. Most BMW wheels are gonna take you a little bit longer. I'll usually rinse this and then brush that one, just so the dirt doesn't resettle and then I have to agitate it again. I like spraying both wheels at once because by the time I get to this one, the chemical has already done a lot of the work for me. To get behind this brake caliper, we have to use this one, so pull it out slowly, as you will get just a face of dirt. So I can already tell this coating is performing just fine. You got great water beading everywhere. It's all uniform. There's no areas of the car that look worse than the other as far as the performance of the coating goes. Typically, you'll see the bottom part of the car will have almost like not as good performance. That's just because the bottom of the car gets the dirtiest. Once you wash it, it should all look the same. But even on this car, he takes such good care of it. And it's so well maintained that the coating is just performing like day one. So we're just gonna go ahead and wash it. We're gonna use a iron remover with some synthetic clay to decontaminate it. We're gonna apply pretty much a 1 year ceramic on top of this, just to increase the longevity and the performance of the coating. And then we'll do the interior and call it a day. Guys, washing this car, if I had to describe it to you, how easy this is, it's like cleaning a nonstick frying pan that you haven't even used yet. It's literally that easy. So this car has our 5 year coating on it. And then I believe we topped it with our 2 year coating also. What the 2 year coating does on top of the 5 year, it kind of adds a little bit extra gloss, a little bit of extra slickness, and it increases the hydrophobic properties of the 5 year coating. So each coating has its own properties. I would say our 5 year coating is definitely the most durable other than our 7-year coating. The 5-year coating is great for protection of the vehicle, especially a daily driver. The 2-year coating is a little bit softer, so it doesn't really have as much protective qualities as the 5-year. It will still protect against bird poo etching, tree sap etching, all that stuff. But the coating itself is more susceptible to getting damaged. But then we could just polish the coating off and reapply a new coating. If I had to explain the differences in like between the 1-year, the 2-year, the 3-year, the 5-year, the 7-year, essentially you're gonna get the same sort of water beating performance out of all of them. Obviously, the difference is gonna be the longevity factor. If you like to polish your car often, like let's say you have a black car, paint that likes to scratch really easily, you may only wanna go with like a 2-year coating at most, because you're probably gonna wanna polish your car after 2 years or so. Other than the longevity, as you bump up in longevity, you get better durability, but that doesn't necessarily mean the cleaning characteristics are gonna be easier than, let's say, a 1-year coating versus a 7-year coating. They're both gonna perform great. They're both gonna repel the dirt. The 7-year coating is definitely my favorite. 7-year coating is 3 separate layers combined to make 1 coating. Each layer has its own characteristics, which carry over into the next layer that's applied. So if you want the ultimate durability, slickness, gloss, hydrophobics, that's definitely gonna be the 7-year. It's the top dog for a reason. And no, putting a 2-year coating on top of the 5-year coating does not make it a 7-year coating. It still gives you the same protective qualities as the 5-year coating. You're just getting that extra gloss and hydrophobics. It doesn't add time for the warranty or anything like that. I always keep one of these soft brushes in the bucket. That way any of our detailers, as they're going around, if they see something like a grill or an area that needs to be brushed, we can just pull it out of the bucket, brush it real quick, put it back in. Okay, now we're gonna use our synthetic clay and the iron remover to decontaminate the coating. Yes, you can use this on a polished surface. It's not gonna cause any marring. So let's use it properly. You want plenty of lubrication. That's why we have the rinseless on here. We're gonna use iron remover as well, no pressure, and you're just gonna decontaminate the car. You're basically spreading the iron remover around. The reason this car stays so clean and because it's so easy to wash is because we do keep up on the maintenance. Just because it's clean doesn't mean it can't benefit from something like this. So that's why we do this typically every 6 months, minimum once a year. I recommend if you're gonna be daily driving the car on the expressway a lot, do this every like 4 months. It's just gonna keep your car cleaner. You're not gonna notice any kind of marring, like I said, with the clay. It's a great way to keep the car decontaminated. And the reason I say you wanna keep the car clean is you wanna treat the ceramic coating like a nonstick frying pan. If you clean it often, then it'll stay easier to clean. If you let things sit on here for too long, it'll still come off easily, but you're gonna have to put a little bit more effort to get everything off. So the cleaner you keep the coating, the better it's gonna be. Wash it whenever you want, but the cleaner that it is, the better that it is. All right, now we'll just do the roof. You guys know how much I love doing roofs. When you're done with this, you want to rinse it out. To clean it, you can use like an all-purpose cleaner like the Green Star. Just clean it, rub it, rinse it out. This will be good for 50 plus cars, as long as you maintain it. All right, so after the iron decontamination, we're gonna use the water spot remover. There's no water spots on this car, but just because it's a water spot remover doesn't mean it's not good for other things. So we'll apply this to the car, and this is just gonna dissolve any kind of like water-soluble minerals and things like that could potentially be on the car. This will just give it that last little bit of stripping by using an acid-based chemical to remove anything else on the coating that we haven't removed yet. It's perfectly safe on the coating. The coating can handle any of these maintenance products. You can find these all at our location, and you can use these on your car if you'd like. I like to do this when the car is wet because it gives me a really long dwell time, and I can typically do the entire car before it begins to dry. If you're working outside in the sun, obviously it's going to be a little bit different for you. You're going to want to do this in the shade panel by panel if you're working outdoors. But in a controlled environment like this, we can get away with doing more stuff at the same time. You don't need a lot. A little bit does go a long way. You'll kind of see it like suds up a little bit. And just put more on the applicator when you feel like there's not enough being applied. Now you don't want this stuff to dwell in the windshield, so I'll be doing the windshield last. The windshield is laminated glass, so it's a little bit different than all the other glass on the car, which is tempered glass. So just don't let it dwell in the windshield. Do the windshield last, and then rinse the windshield off first. When I'm doing the water spot remover, I do the roof last because I know some of it is gonna drip onto the windshield. So I don't want that dripping on the windshield in the beginning of the car when I'm doing this. So that's gonna be sitting on the windshield the whole time. I'd rather it just run down the windshield a little bit before I apply it. That way I have time for it to not etch the windshield or cause any kind of issues. All right, so after you've fully done the iron remover and the water spot remover, there's gonna be some areas of the car which could potentially not bead as much as they did before. The reason is, after using these chemicals, we kind of scarred the coating in a sense. So all you have to do is, we're gonna reapply some kind of a silicone-based product. The way these coatings work is there's like a gel and you have the solids inside of them. And that gel over time can deteriorate from the UV, but the solids, the protective qualities of the coating are still there. So when you reapply a spray-on silicon dioxide-based product, what you're doing is you're reintroducing some of that gel into the coating, which is repairing it, and you're prolonging the life of it. And you're making sure that the water-beading characteristics, the self-cleaning characteristics of the coating are still gonna be performing like day one, whereas the protective qualities are generally always gonna be there. It's just the water beading and self-cleaning properties come from that gel kind of deteriorating over time. You wanna keep replenishing that. So we do have a maintenance product that you can also use on your car called SP3 Maintain. Spray that on, it'll last for about 3 months. You can use it at home. It'll help you maintain the coating at home and make sure that the water behavior is exactly like the day that you picked it up from the shop. And since we're not going to be polishing this, we do want to use a drying aid. We're going to use the rinseless wash again. Just apply it to the car. You don't have to worry panel by panel as far as flipping the sponge. Just get the car wet with the rinseless. That way you have something to use as a drying aid when you dry the car. And then after that, when the car's dry, we'll apply the ceramic spray that we want to put on. This step also helps to make sure that you removed all of the water spot remover so you don't have any of the acid sitting on the car. All right, now we'll back it up, dry the wheels, door jambs, get started on the interior. I'll do the door jambs. These are pretty much already clean. They just kind of need to be wiped down. A lot of people forget this upper area. You can either clean it when you're cleaning the door, or I usually just clean it when I'm doing the door jamb. Before I wipe the back, I like to open the back, let the water drain. That way you're not chasing water that's just gonna be dripping on you. All right guys, I'm gonna show you basically how I go through cleaning an interior. What we do is we do it section by section. So we'll do this driver's area to completion and then move on to every other section of the vehicle. That way if somebody else hops on to one section, they can do that full section on their own. You don't have to guess where the person's been. We always start on the driver's area because this is where the driver sits. So you want to pay the most attention to this area when your eyes are fresh and you're able to seek out all the little details. Then when you get towards the back of the vehicle, you know, if you're tired and you miss something, it's not as big of a deal as if you missed a key detail in this part of the car. So first thing, you want to grab everything that you need. So microfibers, brushes, chemicals, anything that you think you need, lights or anything like that, to complete the whole detail on this section and then move along. So I'll show you how everything is done. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the mat out, the rubber mat. I'm just going to set it down underneath the car for now. I'm going to do all the mats at the same time later. But for now, I just want to clean this whole area. Depending on the vehicle, you may need to do a vacuum first. This car doesn't need a vacuum first. I'm going to pretty much work from the middle top down and out. So I'll kind of work my way out of the vehicle. That way I can sit in the car, I can do any kind of intricate detailing work I have to do here. And then as I'm doing the seat and everything, I'm moving out of the car, cleaning everything as I'm moving out. Everything up top basically just needs a wipe down. Some cleaner on the cloth is all you need for something like this. I'll do the actual mirrors, the sun visors when we do the glass. Pretty much just removing dust for the most part. And then we'll use the brush in the center console area where it actually needs full cleaning. I never spray directly onto a surface on the interior. I always use a brush. You don't need a lot of cleaner, but there is a little bit of grime here that we have to remove. And we'll use the brush in this area also. After I clean this, I'll usually close it or I'll put a spare microfiber over it just so that way it doesn't get any extra dust. All right, last thing to clean as far as down, middle, and out, I'll just clean up the steering wheel. There's just a little bit of stuff inside of the grooves here that just make it a little bit easier to get with the cleaner. Then I'll just spray the microfiber and we'll wipe down the outside. All right, now that the steering wheel area is clean, I'm gonna get off the seat. We'll clean the seat and clean the rest of the car as we go out. If you have this little bolster here, you wanna open this up, that way you have full access. This seat, there's not really any grime to really get out, but what we will do is just use the brush to kind of knock out or knock loose anything between the seats, the little seat cracks. That way when we go to vacuum, we can vacuum that all up. Take a fresh section of the microfiber and apply some solution to the microfiber, and you can just wipe these down. You really don't want to get seats with the perforations in them too wet. There's a lot of electronics and fans and things like that inside the seats. So the less water and liquid that you put on the leather, on those kind of seats, the better. Just using our cleaner on the leather like this, we'll remove everything, and we'll just take our second towel and just dry everything. Make sure you wipe inside of all those cracks, and that will get the seat clean. Make sure you get underneath the headrest. A lot of dust likes to sit on that headrest area. I will begin cleaning just underneath the steering wheel area here, the side of the seat. If there's dirt inside these tracks, we'll clean inside of the tracks here. I have a specific brush that I use for like the dirtier areas, like the pedals, door jambs, and things like that. We usually indicate it with the red here. If you buy this as a set, the green is like the softer one. There's a yellow one to kind of get into vents. It's a little bit more stiff. This one is also a little bit stiffer than this guy. Gets a little bit more cleaning action. In this area here as well, just needs a quick wipe down. Make sure the only thing here is on these little seals. You want to make sure that you just clean inside of them and just get any dirt that likes to sit inside of these door seals here. They will eventually cause like issues like tears and things like that in the rubber over time. And then for the door panel, we're just going to use the brush, just with whatever leftover cleaner is on there, just to remove some of the dust inside of these cracks. And then we'll go ahead and wipe the whole door seal down. Okay, so now I'll vacuum it, and then I'll usually do the windows last, because if we're using a steamer or anything like that, it gets condensation on the glass, so we'll do the glass last. But that's how you deal with a maintenance cleaning on your basic interior, just to spruce it up. We'll do the same exact thing on every other section. I don't think I have to show you all that. It's pretty much the same exact thing I just showed you. Just repeat. So the back mats really just needed to be wiped down. All I did was use some Green Star, spray these off, brush them. Now I'm just gonna dry them, put them back in the car, and then we'll do the windows. And we'll put on the ceramic spray that we have to do on the exterior, and then we'll be done. And then for the windows, I'm gonna use a damp microfiber with our rinseless wash on it. Use the first one to clean the glass, and use a second dry one to dry the glass. You're gonna wanna go pick a direction, left or right, or up and down. If you go left and right when you're cleaning the inside of the window, and you go up and down for the outside, when you're checking and you see a streak, depending on the direction of the streak, you'll know where that streak is, whether it's on the inside of the glass or the outside. All right, so now the whole car is clean, everything's detailed. The last step, I'm gonna put our 1-year ceramic coating. I'm gonna spray it on the microfiber and apply it and then remove it. You can use any spray at this point that you want. You can use our maintenance product. You can use our 6-month ceramic sealant. You can use our spray-on 1-year coating. Pretty much any kind of ceramic-based sealant after you've done the decontamination will be good for the coating. You don't have to apply this step. The coating will rejuvenate over the next week and you'll get all the water beading characteristics back. But this is what will rejuvenate that gel in the coating that I was talking about. If you keep applying a ceramic-based product to the car, over time you're gonna have a lot more durability for your coating in the long term. You're gonna stretch the life of that coating out. So we're just gonna put a couple sprays on the microfiber. Goes on like a sealant. Just wipe it on and then wipe it off. This is not how we would apply it if we wanted to get a full 1-year longevity out of it. We would typically apply it by hand with an applicator. But since this car already has a 5-year coating on it, plus the 2-year coating on top of that, we're just rejuvenating the coating with this spray. All right, I just forgot to mention that part of this service also, we will recoat the windshield for you. The windshield specifically is a 1-year ceramic coating. As part of the detail, we will reapply the ceramic to the windshield so that way you always have a nice, clear vision out of your windshield whenever you're gonna drive the car. Stuff goes on and then wipe it right off. Okay, and just like that, the car's done. We did our ceramic maintenance service for the vehicle, fully decontaminated it, applied some more ceramic to the coating to make sure that it's fully ready to go. Engine bay detail, interior detail. But for today, the car's done and the job is completed.